In this video, I'm going to talk about the Lantern Rune. So what was the Lantern Rune? Well, it seems to have been many things. One thing it seems to have been was a bind rune of the Ice Rune and the Ing Rune. So you can see the Ing Rune by itself here, and probably here, but in some cases it seems to have been bound with the Ice Rune. So for example, I've seen this interpreted as saying Marings, and this as saying Klein Kingia. I've seen this interpreted as saying Marlingu, Wheatring, Inganda, and this as being some kind of name ending in Ingo. In some instances, the Lantern Rune might just be a variant of the Ing Rune. So for example, here, if you check out these runes here, you see something kind of like this. The L rune looks like this, the Ing rune looks like this, and the O rune looks kind of like this. Now, if we were to return the heads to these runes, we might get something like this. And yeah, so this is a rune row, so the runes are being listed in their normal order, and that's how we can infer that this here is supposed to be the Ing rune, and it seems to be taking on the Lantern Rune shape. Some scholars like the idea of this being the original shape of the Ing rune, because then they can try to trace it back to either Latin Q or some relative of the Latin Q. Things get more complicated when you factor in the practice of making Spiegelrunen or mirror runes. So the way this works is you would take a rune like the L rune and then you would mirror it. Or maybe you would take the P rune and mirror it like this, or maybe even the Z rune and mirror it like this. Well, scholars seem to think that that's what's going on here, 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 and here. They think that these runes are mirrored Win runes, or W runes if you'd rather, and not ing segments. As for this, I've seen this interpreted as being either Rongo or Rotho, with this being interpreted as perhaps being a mirrored Thorn rune or Thors rune. Further complicating things, even beyond all of that, is this. So apparently in Futhorch, the Lantern Rune developed as a variant of the Ezel Rune, which is what this manuscript is telling us here. And this is supported by this rune row here. Even though these runes are jumbled up, they're not exactly in the right order, we can infer that this here is supposed to be the Ezel Rune. And this is another rune row, and we can infer, because of the positions of the runes, that this is supposed to be an Ezel Rune.